We'd only been here for a few years, so it was our first, experience of a flood. As floods do, they happen so quickly, so you have very little time to prepare. And
that early morning on the Saturday morning was pretty stressful for a lot of people. A lot of roads getting cut off and the rivers coming up so quick that we couldn't even move cattle.
We were completely inundated with, between 1.5 to 2 metres of water across the whole farm. I'm a dairy farmer at Jones Island, just north of Taree on the mid-north coast. I bought the farm in partnership with my parents when I came home from uni about 7 years ago. And since then, we've been through record droughts, record floods, wet years, and everything in between. Definitely challenging.
This early needs program was really about recovery after the floods and after that extended wet period. And one of the things you've got to consider is that these farms, their plans have been set back, cattle have been set back, and then often the costs go up because they have to buy in feed and all these things. So it's quite a big hit. And when you're running a business, to recover from that takes quite a bit of confidence. It takes courage, really, to step back up and have another go.
We lost, hundreds and hundreds of bales of silage that we had stored for that autumn and winter. And then obviously the pastures, been inundated for so long, it actually kills the grass. So we basically had no feed for our cows. But at the end of the day, that's farming, that's all part of the journey, and it wasn't a choice to give up.
We provide agronomic and financial services of the farmer's choice to choose their advisor. Somebody in particular has really good expertise in the dairy industry, and bringing a skilled advisor alongside to impart some confidence. Hey, you're doing the right thing. This is a good thing.
Sometimes it's not about having all the answers, but it's being able to have a discussion with the farmers, run through their priorities and priority setting and what they need. Because we know in times of distress and challenging times, it's sometimes hard to make decisions.
We were in the dairy, chest high in water, putting cups on under the waters. We were cut off from the highway, so the milk tanker couldn't collect milk, so we were tipping milk down the drain for 8 days. And then once the water recedes, you've got all your animal health issues with mastitis from cows standing and lying in mud.
There's people that can really handle a lot of these pressures and deal with it quite proficiently. They're a small amount of people, but when we get multiple stresses over and over again, we all need support. I had farmers that are probably some of the best farmers you work with, ringing me and asking questions that normally they'd make decisions on like that every time, but they were ringing up because they were unsure.
Recovering from any event, natural event, disaster, whatever, you've got to have a strong support network. And Josh and Peter, who I've known for quite a few years, came in really useful, and utilising their knowledge and their skill set to sort of make informed decisions on our farm. We're growing more homegrown feed. We make all our own silage. For the first time, we've put in a summer crop, which Josh has helped me plan for that. We put in a concrete feed pad above ground, so it's out of flood as well, giving us somewhere to feed our cows during floods. But even just wet years, like last year was a prolonged wet year, and trying to feed cows in the mud in paddocks or putting silage on the ground for them, you're just wasting a significant amount. It's like 30% feed wastage, whereas on the feed pad it's less than 3%.
So Sam, doing the numbers, has worked out that with that wastage of feed, if he brings it in, he's going to save a lot more by feeding it out on a feed pad. That builds the resilience into the drought and the flood, but even in his grazing system now, he can play with the feed a lot better to get his grazing management under control, but also utilise that brought-in feed a lot more efficiently.
With a bit of extra help, they've been able to really bounce back and make some tough decisions and some good decisions that are going to set them up for the future. And I think that was the intent of the funding. It's not just to help out at a time of crisis, but because it's over an extended period, it helps them really re-establish themselves, make some hard decisions and go forward in the industry.
Sam's implemented some things on this farm that they've invested in that's going to hold them in good stead in challenging times.
can't change the weather, we can't predict a flood or a drought, but we can change the way we do things here. And yeah, I'd like to think the future looks positive for our farm and the industry as well.